How's it going, everybody? This is going to be another Maestro DMX tutorial video. This video specifically is going to be centered around connecting Maestro DMX into Capture so that you can build out 3D visualized stages with lights and fixtures and have Maestro DMX control those 3D stages. So what I have over here on the left is my Maestro DMX window. On the right I have my Capture window. The way that I have this working on my end is I am sending DMX data from Maestro into my PC using a DMX input-output device. There are a few devices you can use to do this. I have an Amazon listing up here just to show you a few of the different options available to you. And I also have my QLite window here, which I will show you that as well, what that QLite window does here in a moment. We'll switch back over to Amazon here. So in Amazon, there's a few different types of devices you could use or purchase if you want to do this type of a setup. You will need a DMX device that supports input and output. The DMX device that I'm using is a DMX King Ultra DMX. I have the Micro Edition. This is just the Max. Pretty much the same unit. This one just has a USB plug on the other end of the adapter, whereas mine has a cable coming off the adapter. This adapter supports both receiving and sending DMX. However, this adapter just has a single connector. So how does it receive DMX with a connector that typically would be a send connector? What you're going to need to do is purchase a gender changing adapter, which is just a 3-pin male-to-male adapter to change the gender over to accept a female input on the other end. And that way you can connect it into Maestro. That is one option. So you'll need, again, that DMX King adapter along with a gender changer. You can also use an adapter like a NTech DMX USB Pro. This adapter has both a DMX input and a output. This will also work. However, these plugs are 5-pin plugs, so you will need to convert those over to 3-pin using a cable similar to a XLR 3-pin to 5-pin adapter. Make sure you order the one that goes from XLR, a 3-pin XLR male to a 5-pin XLR female. This kit comes with both, so you can connect both ends of that NTech adapter if you want to. Again, that's another option available to you. If you have your own personal DMX device, as long as your device supports DMX input, it should work. But again, these are the ones that I've tested. DMX King specifically I use for this demo. You also need another piece of software on your PC, which is QLite Controller. I'm not going to walk you through how to install this. This is free. It's open source software. You can download it and install it on your PC. Once you have the software installed, you're going to want to launch it. It's going to bring you to kind of this base fixtures page. At the very bottom, you're going to change to input output. So at the very bottom across these tabs, choose input output. You're going to want to select Universe 1. At the very top, there's a pass-through checkbox. You want to tick that box for pass-through because we're going to do what we call pass-through from DMX into ArtNet. ArtNet is what can be used by Capture. So you'll want to convert that DMX signal over to ArtNet. That way Capture can ingest that data and use it for those visualizations. Once you've selected the Universe 1 and ticked on pass-through, you're going to want to also go over and set your DMX input device to input on this universe. As you see here, I have my USB Pro DMX device. That's set to input. And then for output, you want to scroll up and you want to tick the box next to your PC's IP address under ArtNet. So we see ArtNet, we see my PC IP address there. You want to tick that box for output. Once you have that all set, you can shrink this window. Do not close it because this is what's going to be doing that DMX to ArtNet pass-through. So make sure you leave QLite running, but you can minimize it. Once you have that minimized, you'll be able to launch Capture. Now this Capture, I've already built a stage on it. I've already added lights to that stage. I'll walk you through some of the basics of stage building, but I'm not going to walk you through everything. If you need to figure out how to build a stage on Capture, there are other guides online walking you through designing a stage, adding trussing, things like that. I will start with a very basic stage build. I'll use my template that I have, and I'll just remove these fixtures and we'll re-add them so I can walk you through adding fixtures and setting them up in the universe inside of Capture to then be used with that ArtNet signal that Capture will receive. So as you see here, I do have a stage already built. This one has a whole bunch of RGB fixtures, it has some movers, and it has some LED bars across the top. If you look at my show page here with Maestro, go to the stage, you can see I have all those fixtures already added to the stage. So we have the Quad 7 color dash. This is a 4-channel RGB amber fixture. I have 36 of those. I also have those movers, like I mentioned, across the top. Those are those Mac 250 on tour movers. Those are 15-channel fixtures. They're standard mover with a gobo, color wheel, things like that. And I have 10 of those. And then across the very top there, I have 6 of those Color Fusion bars. Those are 24-channel DMX bars. They just have 8 segments of red, green, blue in them. So you will need to add any fixtures that you're going to add inside of Capture into Maestro. I'm not going to walk you through building a fixture. I've already done a few videos of those, but you will need to build all your fixture profiles that you have available to you in Capture that you want to use on that stage inside of Maestro. Some of those fixtures may already exist. This version of Capture that I am demoing is the Student Edition. This is also a free piece of software, but it is fairly limited for the Student Edition. You only have a small number of fixtures in the fixture library that you can add. I've basically added, 3 common types of fixtures: an RGB kind of wash, a moving head, and then that LED bar that's RGB. But your results may vary. If you have the full version of Capture, you'll have way more fixtures that you can play around with. My version is fairly limited because it is that free Student Edition. So once you have your QLite controller software up and running, and you have your pass-through set up to pass through DMX into ArtNet, and you have your PC connected via that DMX adapter into Maestro via a standard 3-pin XLR cable, you're all set there. Now we're going to go over to Capture and we're going to set up our first stage. Now obviously I already have this one built, so I will switch over to a demo stage, which will be a blank stage. So as we see here, this stage is blank. When you first launch Capture, there will be nothing in these windows. I've already built a platform and trussing. Again, I won't walk you through that whole process because that can be a little tedious, but you can look online. There's guides online on how to build trusses and build your stages and things to make it kind of look cool for this 3D view. But I'm going to walk through the basics of adding a fixture into Capture and then mapping that fixture so that it can receive data from Maestro. So I'm not going to walk you through setting up the stage side of Maestro. This is already built, so I'm just going to follow this pre-built stage. I'm just going to add fixtures into Capture so they can be used through that ArtNet universe. So inside of Capture, what I recommend doing first and foremost is get your views set up to where you have these plot views on every single one of these windows. I'm going to switch this front plot view to where it is facing down. I have the right one this way, and this will help with orienting these fixtures because you will need to orient them once you install them to those trusses because they won't be installed facing the right direction, so you'll need to fix the orientations. And I will show you how to do that. So first and foremost, we got our stage set up, we got our trussing built out. I'm not going to walk you through that like I said, but I will walk you through adding those fixtures. So inside of Capture, we're going to switch over to the project window here. We're going to go over to Library and then to Fixtures. And this is where you can choose those fixtures to add. Now first and foremost, we have those Chauvet Color Dash Quad 7s. So I'm going to go to Chauvet here. I'm going to go to Color Dash Quad 7, and I'm going to just drag and drop that one right onto my stage. And that will add that fixture to your stage. Now, first thing you might notice is that fixture is not facing the right direction. It looks like it is facing down. We can actually confirm that by switching back our view in that top left window. Click on the top left window, switch back to Live. And we're going to move this back to where we're looking forward towards that stage. When you have a fixture highlighted, it will give you these options here. You can click on this power icon, and this will allow you to turn the fixture on and adjust settings and things on it. I've just basically turned the dimmer up on it. So we'll take a quick look here at our stage. We'll click off so we can see that, and it does look like I said, that fixture is facing down and just lighting the ground there. So we definitely need to fix the orientation of this fixture. So I'm going to switch my view back over to the plot view, and we'll get it back to where it's facing down like so. And now we're going to choose that fixture. And we might have to click a little bit to get that. There we go. There's the fixture selected. And as you see here, we do have a few different like draggable orientations here. From the right-hand view, this orientation would be changing the direction of the fixture facing towards the crowd. So this is where you'll want to change it. We're just going to drag that up to 90%. We might not get 90% perfectly, but we'll get it close. With this fixture still selected, we can switch over to Project here to the Design tab. Go over to Selected Items, and you can actually adjust the X rotation directly here. So we'll just set that to -90 so that it's facing the right way. And now if we go back to our view for alpha, we're going to switch that back to live. And now we see that fixture is facing the right direction. It's facing out towards the crowd. And that's what we want to see. So that is good. Now we're going to switch that view back over to plot again. We'll fix our orientation there so we can play around with orientations if we need to. And now that we have that fixture added, we are going to duplicate that fixture. And what duplicate's going to do is it's going to make multiple copies of the same fixture. So we'll get that fixture clicked here. And like I said, sometimes you kind of got to click around to get it. If that doesn't work, we can actually go over to the Fixtures tab and just click here, and that will highlight it. So once we have this fixture highlighted, we have the option to duplicate it. And duplicate is Control-D, so you just press Control-D on your keyboard. That'll bring up this duplicate menu, and we're going to duplicate this 3 more times just to create a row of fixtures from bottom to top on this first truss. So I'm going to click on Duplicate, and as you see, that created 3 more fixtures in this list. Now they're all stacked on top of this one fixture, so the easiest way to move those is to click the next one in the list, because that first one is the first one that you added. So let's click the second one. Now we have it clicked, we can click over here and click and drag that. And we're going to fix this orientation so we can see our grid again. And there's our grid. And we're going to put this one we're going to do every other grid bar here. So we got that first one added, or that second one added. Now we're going to click down to the third one. That will highlight that. We're going to click and drag this one up, put it there, and do the same thing for the fourth. Click down here to select it, click here to click and drag it up to the next section. Now we have our first 4 fixtures added. We're going to want to duplicate this across each of those trusses. And the easiest way to do that, again, is to select all those fixtures, make sure you have this window live, and then we're going to Control-D. That will create our duplicate of those 4. And let's look and see how many trusses we have here. So we'll just do a quick little pan around. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 more trusses to add those 4 fixtures to. So let's select those again. We'll do a Control-D, and we're going to do 8 duplicates. This is going to add a whole bunch of more fixtures to your page. Now again, we already did those first 4, so we're going to go to the 5th one, and we'll select 5, 6, 7, 8. They're selected. We're going to just click and drag those 4 over and kind of line them up as best we can. And again, having that grid view there definitely helps. So let's see if we can get that grid back. There we go. Get that lined up to the best of our ability. And we're going to go right down the list. Select the next 4. Click, drag, place, rinse, repeat. And I will do this here real quick. You all can just listen to me talk while I'm doing this. This does take a little bit. I am building a kind of pretty intense stage here of lights. Definitely a lot quicker than actually racking these lights in real. So, if you definitely want something to play around with the fixtures without having to set them all up, this may be the option that works best for you, is using Capture. Like I said, again, the Student Edition is fairly limited, so you may not have all the fixtures you want in this edition. But if you purchase the full version, you'll definitely have access to way more fixtures to play around with. Your fixtures may even be in there. We got 4 more to go here, so let's add those last 4. Perfect. All right, we have our stage set up with all those fixtures. Now, the nice thing about this is these fixtures are now in a specific order, because as you saw when I duplicated them, it duplicated those 4. So as you see, it's going in this zigzag kind of pattern. This will become useful when we set these up on our stage, because we're going to do a 2-dimensional grid, and then we're going to do the wrap option. So sorry, not zigzag. This is going to be a wrap option. As you see here, they are all in that wrap from bottom to top, wrapping back down to the bottom, bottom to top, wrapping back down to the bottom, bottom to top. Now that all our fixtures are added, we're going to actually highlight all of them in this list. That will grab them all. We're going to just click over here and make sure this window is highlighted. And now we're going to switch over to that Project tab, to the Universes tab. And we should see right away, if we set up our ArtNet properly, there's an ArtNet universe with data on it right here in this list. And we see there is data coming in from Maestro, but these fixtures are currently not mapped yet. So what we're going to do to map them into this universe is to click this little copy button down here, the third button from the left, and just drag that right down into this window. When we release that, that's going to start up the patch window. And we should leave all these settings as default, especially if we're starting from DMX address 1. In this demo, we do have those quad 7 set up starting from DMX address 1. And actually, before we do this, we did forget a step, so we're going to click off. All of these fixtures are currently set up in a 7-channel or 10-channel mode. We don't want 10-channel mode. We want 4-channel mode. So what we're going to do is we are going to switch these over to 4-channel. And this may take us a moment. This would have been a lot easier if I did this step earlier, but I forgot it. Sorry, everybody. You're going to have to just watch me click these over to 4-channel. But just as a mental note, make sure you change your channel mode on your fixture when you add it to your stage to the channel mode that you plan on using. Otherwise, you'll be doing exactly what I'm doing right now in this video. So let's go through and we'll set all of these channel modes here to 4-channel. Because we don't want to go in 10-channel. We want to use the least amount of DMX channels as possible. But we can add as many fixtures as we want to this stage. And again, this is as easy as double-clicking and switching the channel mode to 4-channel. And that is not 4-channel. That is 4-channel. A few more fixtures to go, and we will be back in business. And we will make a mental note to do this on the next set of fixtures that we add to this stage. So now we have all of those back and set in the proper mode of 4-channel mode, which is what we want. So we are going to just select, again, all of those fixtures. Make sure we are in this view here. Switch over to the Universes tab. And we're going to click that button and drag them down. And we will add them. And again, we'll leave that start address as DMX address 1. We're going to do 1 fixture per channel and no channel offset. And this is going to add 144 channels for those fixtures. So we click on patch, we've now seen that it's added these fixtures. It even does a nice little bar to show you the channels used by each fixture. Now that we've done that, those fixtures have been added and they are patched in. So now if we are sending ArtNet data to these fixtures, those fixtures should be lighting up on our stage. We can verify that by switching over to our alpha view, switching that back to live, and then panning around. And as you see, we have all those fixtures lighting up and being controlled by Maestro. So we can go back to our show page. We can drag and drop that brightness to see those fixtures change. We can change those colors for those fixtures in Maestro, and we will see those colors transition. Might take it a minute because there's no music playing. We'll switch it over to chill, and there we go. Now we're in the yellow. But we're going to leave this back as dance. We'll set this back to that solid color and rainbow palette. Now that we've added those fixtures on our stage layout tab, we've added all these fixtures into our stage layout. We can solo them just to make sure they're in the right order. And as you see here, mine are ordered properly already because I started from DMX address 1 and added them consecutively. So as we see, those are all set up. I'm not going to walk you through this whole process because again, we've talked about this in previous videos. So if you don't understand these steps, definitely go back and watch my other videos before you try to do this, because this will help you out as you're going through. Now I have this set up as a 2D grid, and I have the reverse wrap like I mentioned with a length of 4 because there are 4 pixels per column. And we will unsolo this one so you can just see those effects kind of panning across. We'll play a little music here. Turn the music up.
Chatted to Molly, she fought for plenty, her and all her guineas. Yeah, we at the top floor, right there off the Henny. Yeah, oh no, I can't fuck with y'all. Yeah, when I'm in the spot, I cannot do no.
As you see there, music is adjusting those lights from Maestro, and it's really cool. You can actually zoom in, you can see all those pixels on those lights on your stage there. So that's adding those RGB fixtures. We're going to now do the same thing with some movers. So we're going to go back again to our library tab, and we will switch our view back to plot for this. And we'll get that oriented the way we want again, so we can fix the orientation on these fixtures if we have to. And now we're going to add those movers. And again, we started those. Let's go back to our patcher page here. Those movers start at DMX Tracks 160 right after that Mac on tour light, these start at 144 right after that Killer Dash Quad 7. So we're going to add these right next to this list here. So we'll go back to our library tab. We'll grab that Martin Mac 250 on tour, and we'll just drag and drop that right onto our stage. And the nice thing about this fixture is it's already hanging in the proper orientation that we want it, so we won't have to do much with regards to adjusting this fixture's orientation. We can again verify that by switching to our alpha view, changing that over to live. We'll pan this down. We will turn that fixture on. Set its dimmer to full. And as we can see here, that fixture is in the right orientation. It's facing down. Pan and tilt stuff we will adjust in a moment. But we are good with that fixture. So now we can switch our view back over to our plot view. We'll fix that orientation again so it's facing down. And now that we have that first fixture, we can duplicate that one. And again, we're going to select that fixture, press Control D, and we had 10 total fixtures, so we're going to add 9 more to this list. That will again add those 9 fixtures, and look at that, to the bottom of our list. Or sorry, to the top, not the bottom. But that doesn't matter because we know this is our first one. So here's our second one. We're going to click that, we're going to highlight it, we're going to drag it. We're going to do that same step again that we did before. Click the third one, highlight and drag. Click the fourth one, highlight and drag. Fifth one, and again, same steps as we did before. Pick the fixture, drag it, drop it. Rinse and repeat. And I believe actually we have 12 of these to add, so I will add 2 more here in a moment. We'll get these laid out first. We will click on this last one. We're going to do our duplicate again, and we'll add 2 more to make that 12. Again, there's that one. We will click on that 11th one. We'll drag it. We'll click on that 12th one and drag it. And I'm going to fix these a little bit so they're a little more spaced out, so they look a little nicer. This will again not be perfect compared to the one that I was showing earlier. We will get 6 on both sides going, so we got 6 there. We'll space these out a little bit nicer so they look like they're actually racked by a professional and not by somebody that's making a quick YouTube video here. And again, this is not going to be perfect, but I will try to make it as nice as possible here for this demo. There we go, that's not too bad. Alright, so we have our 12 fixtures added. So what's our next step? We're going to grab that full list of fixtures again, make sure we're on our beta view, switch over to our universe, scroll down to the next available DMX address. If you scroll down this list, you'll find it there, 145. And if we check our layout here, there's 145 for the first fixture. And what's the one thing we do to double check, and we forgot to do it again this time? We got to make sure those fixtures are set to the right channel values. And these are set to 15, so we got lucky on that one. So we are good there. Let's go back to that universe. Let's click that button again to drag them down, drop them in on 145. That says start at 145, 1 fixture per channel. Channel offset of 0. Again, this is going to use 180 fixtures. We will just add those there. You see it starts at 145 and it ends down at 324. And if we go look through our stage again, 324 is our last value, so we are good there. Now if we switch back again to our alpha view and change this over to live, we will now see that those fixtures are patched in and they are working. So now we have that nice set of movers. And if we play some more music again, let's find something a little more appropriate. There we go.
Hey ladies, drop it down. Just wanna see you touch the ground. Don't be shy, girl, go bonanza. Shake your body like a belly dancer. Hey ladies, drop it down. Just wanna see you touch the ground. Don't be shy, girl, go bonanza. Shake your body like a belly dancer. Hey ladies, drop it down. Just wanna see you touch the ground. Don't be shy, girl, go bonanza. Shake your body like a belly dancer. Hey.
And there are all of our movers added into our capture window, and they are being properly managed by Maestro. Now we have a few more fixtures to add, and those are those color fusion fixtures, those LED bars. We're going to add those right across the top of the truss here, like we have on this view. So we're going to go, again, back to our library. We're going to find that Acme color fusion bar, click, and drop that right onto our stage across that bar. Now again, we're going to double check this one. So we're going to black out our stage real quick so we actually see the light. We're going to go back to that fixture, we're going to turn the light on that one, and lo and behold, that one is facing down, which we do not want. We want that to be facing the right direction. And looky here, we still have our window open, so we can actually just click and drag this back to 90% again, like we did on that first set. Get it as close, and look at that, I got it right the first time, so we didn't even got to adjust it. But we now have that set to 90. So we are good there, and we're going to do the smart thing this time. We're going to go back to our fixture tab and make sure this is set to the right mode. Now 4 channels is not the mode we want. We want the 24 channel mode. So we're going to switch that over to 24 channels. Now we have that full control of those RGB pixels on that fixture. Now that we've added that fixture, we can click on it, do the same Control D again, and let's check our stage again. See how many fixtures of these we had added. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of those color fusions. So we need to duplicate that 5 more times because there's already one there. So that created our 6 fixtures. We're going to click on fixture number 2, click, and drag. And we'll try to put this as neatly as we can. Again, not perfect, but this is just for the demonstration. Click, and drag, select number 4, click and drag. Select number 5, click and drag, and number 6, click and drag. And I'm going to fix the orientation of a few of these fixtures. It'll get them more lined up with those movers, because that's how I had it originally. Sometimes when you click, you will click on the truss. You want to click on the fixture, not the truss. You also don't want to move that, but we'll just move that over. There we go. And we'll click and drag this one, and boom. We now have those 6 fixtures added. So we're going to do the same thing again. We got them added. We got the mode set right this time, so we don't have to change it. We're going to click and select all of those fixtures again. Make sure you're on the beta view after you've done that. Switch over to your universes. Find the next available DMX address that's blank. That one, and we'll double check here. That one should be 325, should be the first one. So there's 325 like we saw. Click that button there right below the selection and drag and drop it. And again, it starts at 325, 1 fixture per channel. It's going to use 144 DMX addresses. We've added those, and now we see that that one starts at 325 and ends at 468. And we can confirm the same thing here on our stage that we built in Maestro. So we've now added those final bar fixtures into Maestro. So we can switch back to our view here, and we will bring our brightness back up. And look at that. We have all our fixtures added successfully to Maestro. I do have these fixtures split up. My primaries are those LED, those circular lights across the stage. My secondaries are my movers. So as you see here, I have those in a secondary group. And tertiary are those bars. So I do have a few different colors running on this, if you didn't see that initially when I showed it off. And looking at my stage, my layout is, again, those color dashes all on a 2D mappable grid, as you see here. For primary, For secondary, I have all of those movers. Those are just a 1D linear because they are left to right. They're not in a two-dimensional grid. And for tertiary, I have those LED bars. Again, those are also 1D linear. They're not in a grid, they're just left to right. And now if we play music again on this, you'll see all those fixtures working as intended. And you get a pretty cool light show from this. So if you want to play around a bit more with Maestro, play around with a ton of lights, maybe download and install Capture. And as long as you have a way to bring DMX into a PC so you can convert that over to ArtNet, you can play around in Capture with Maestro as is currently. Eventually down the line, the team will likely release an ArtNet universe that will be available likely for free, and then you'll be able to just send right from Maestro into Capture into your PC, and you won't need that adapter. But for now, if you want to play around with this, you'll need a way to bring that DMX in to your PC to convert it over to ArtNet. But again, hopefully this was a helpful guide on walking you through connecting Maestro into Capture. Again, this was a lot of stuff I briefly went over because I went over this stuff in previous videos. So if you're confused about some things, watch some of my previous videos on adding fixtures, watch my previous videos on setting up a two-dimensional grid, watch my previous fixtures on setting up movers, or my previous video on setting up movers, because those things will definitely help you in this video. But again, thanks for watching this video. If you do have any questions, reach out in the Facebook group, in the Discord channel, or in the MaestroDMX forums. Otherwise, we will see you in the next video.